Okay, just wanted to tell you that I've put an essay on the home page of our website. It's only just gone up there a few days ago, and I just wanted to tell you that explain in a sense that what comes out of with all of this is nothing to do with me. The essay and what I speak about is nothing to do with somebody called Tony Parsons. It's just coming out of nothing. It's like an openness. It comes out of an openness. And really, what I find interesting at the moment is that there's a sense of an openness in the whole of this. There's a sense that the contracted energy that we normally live in people live in is somehow more open. There's more of a sense of resonance available in the whole of the world, of the apparent world. And it's got nothing to do with any sort of knowledge or reaching anywhere or path. It's simply energetic, because the whole basis of this message is about energy. It's about openness. It's about freedom. And it's not about trying to get anywhere or coming from anywhere. Some way or other, my sense is that in the world we live in this apparent world, in this story we apparently live in, and it's only apparent, there's some sort of opening, something is happening where people are beginning to realize or recognize that all there is what's happening. But there is no control. There isn't anybody controlling anything. Everything is just happening as it is. We can't control it. We dream that we are people with a choice who control something. It's a complete and utter illusion. There is simply openness. And in a way, there seems to be more of an availability for the absence of the individual who thinks they run their lives and that they are seekers and that they can find something. All of that seems to be falling away. And there's more of an absence and an openness in the whole. So that's all I wanted to say. And what's the first question?
Okay. I'm going to get you to Kim. Here you go, Kim. You're up, Kim.
Good morning, Tony. Thank you so much for the opportunity to ask you questions like this. I've been following you for years, and I've had glimpses that make it easy for me to understand you. So but there are burning questions sometimes, wondering about how things are. For example, when you talk about the dream world and the me has no control, like you just said, I'm curious about, do beliefs make a difference? Do what a person believes affect the dream?
Yeah, that's the dream. The person becomes a person when after they're born. They believe they are real people. After about a year or so, they suddenly fall into self-consciousness, self-awareness, and then the belief comes, and the experience comes with the belief, personal thing. I am real, and the world is real, and I have free will and choice. So what comes out of that is a whole lot of beliefs about the world and me. Yeah, it's all belief. And when the sense of being real suddenly collapses, all of that belief collapses with it.
But while it's there, does it make a difference in the world?
Well,
the person's world?
it apparently makes a difference, but it isn't the self that's making the difference. It's contracted energy in the form of the self. It's out of contracted energy, and beliefs and experiences things seem to arise in the world which come out of that belief and experience. All of them, fortunately, are completely without any meaning or purpose. They're just what's happening. As I said in the introductory talk, the realization is that all there is what appears to be happening. But in the dream world, the dreamer, the me, thinks they're happening because of them, through their action. And that's the illusion.
I guess the problem is sometimes it's the seeming and the appearing that make it difficult to understand clearly if like I'm in the dream world and I'm thinking that I opened the door.
No, you dream, you believe you are opening the door, when actually, really, the door is being opened by no one.
Okay, that I can easily follow. But I'm wondering is, because everybody has different beliefs about life and they affect them differently. It's like they say the emotions affect the body. So if you have certain beliefs, like if I have my beliefs affect me in a certain way and your beliefs affect you in a certain way, is there
Yeah,
anything?
absolutely.
So,
In
so
the
what
dream,
yeah, in the dream world, all this is just in the dream world. So how we think and believe can affect our dream.
yes,
And
apparently. But it's not
right,
really the self believing and experiencing that. The initiation of it is only energy, and that energy is simply a contracted energy. Out of that comes a belief, and then you claim that it's your belief, and it seems to affect your life. But
right.
originally, it comes out of no thing. It's no thing in a contracted state with a set of beliefs. Yeah. But all of those actions that you take, that you believe and experience in, have no meaning or purpose of any,
Right.
except in your dream. You think they have.
Right. I really, to me, I call them like two different worlds. There's the dream world and the real world, which is nothing being everything and nothing happening. And so I look at it two different ways. And I'm trying, and so I have a feeling of understanding what the nothing world is, but the dream world, I mean, I don't like
understand it, no.
Yeah, I understand. It's very difficult to talk about this.
It's unknowable. Yeah.
Right. But I'm just wondering about the dream world and what is really, I mean, how we think that we are doing it. And it's like thoughts come here, but they're not anyone's thoughts. I get that. But is the brain creating, I mean, are we like computers with the brain functioning and doing those things?
No, just energy in a certain form, acting in a certain way, believing that they take that action from their own choice. That's all. It's just energy.
Mm-hmm.
Me, the self is energy in a certain form. There's energy is everything as far as I'm concerned. It's the word for everything. And everything that takes form is simply energy in that particular form.
Would you say it's contracted energy?
Sorry?
I mean, the dense down energy?
Can be contracted, or as I said in my opening thing, it can be a contraction that seems to be becoming more open.
Mm-hmm. And one last question, please. When you dream, are your dreams different now from before? What I'm curious about is, because there's no I there, what is there a type of perspective? Has it changed, or when you dream?
Well, there's no sense of anybody being in the dream, but there's no experience of me being in a dream, but my appearance can take form in a dream. But the only thing I would say about the dreams that I have now is that they're much more ordinary than they used to be. When I was a younger and a seeker and so on, they were much more exciting and very naughty sometimes. But basically, they're sort of very matter of fact now, very ordinary.
Okay, all right, great. Thank you so much. I love you and Claire. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I've got Andreas.
Andrew.
Yeah, hello.
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 Andreas, are you from Germany?
Yes, I am. Thanks.
Oh, I know you. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a couple of talks.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yes, in your new essay, Unknowable Wonder, I read that contemporary YouTube communication and YouTube commandments are still directed to a self.
Oh, yeah, of course.
What we regard as logic and reason.
Well, the person that is communicating the commandments in the modern philosophers that you see all over YouTube, telling people, speaking from a scientific, logical point of view, as far as they're concerned, well, as far as this is concerned, they are still in the dream of being a real person, helping somebody else to have a better experience. And one of the things that they think would help the person they're communicating with, because they recognize that person as a real person, because they are real people, they think can be helped by having a set of rules or commandments or suggestions about how to live their lives. It's a sort of modern day Christianity, except that it is not a religion, it's just a mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. So then when we change our opinions and ideas, do we give ourselves just another name, and all our looking for explanations remains dualistic, just as before?
Well, all the time you're in the dream, of course they are dualistic, because you are dualism. The self, the I, the me is dualism. So it sees everything from a split, dualistic subject-object point of view, and every judgment it apparently makes, although in the end that comes from no thing, contracted energy, or every decision it apparently makes is based on a dualistic perspective.
Oh, yeah.
And it is always, whether it's slightly different from before or after listening to these commandments, it might be different. But the commandments are dualistic, obviously, also, because they're based on the idea that there's someone who can learn how to have a better experience.
Okay. And then after a long time, when we come nearer to the open secret, how you write.
You don't know. Hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt. You don't come nearer to nothing.
Yeah.
The open secret is just a name for a message, which you could say is referring to non-duality, but there is no such thing as non-duality. So you don't come near to non-duality or near to the open secret or near to nothing. There is only already nothing, but you are in the form of a contracted energy looking for nothing.
Yeah, and you write that this radical communication of the open secret offers nothing of any use or value. So
Absolutely.
In other words, does it mean that we who read the essay then can't let go of looking for meaning and purpose?
Well, all the time there's dualism, there is always a constant seeking. The seeker, the me, the self, lives in constant seeking from the experience of being separate, which is what non-dualism is. The seeker looks constantly for not being separate. It never can find it because it thinks it can find non-separation through dualistic means or purposes or processes.
Okay, it sounds like it is the nature of the me to be imprisoned in this
Yeah,
state.
the nature of the me is prison. Me is in prison.
With including insatiable hunger, including the hunger to escape the me.
Yeah, more than anything else, yeah.
Frustrating. It is frustrating, yes, it is.
Constantly.
Constantly, yes.
It's constantly apart.
Yes, it is. So.
And it seeks for that which already is. So that's the added futility of the seeking. It feels it's lost something. Well, it feels it's lost being at one. So it constantly seeks to find being at one. And it's utterly futile because all there is already is oneness. Even the seeking, even the sense of being separate from oneness is also oneness in that form. It's energy in that form.
Yeah. Yeah. In your opening, you talked about that there might be a resonance to the unknowable.
Yeah, but it isn't anybody's resonance, it's just resonance.
Obviously, yeah. But how does it affect us? Does it affect us?
There is no us, but in some way or other, when there's an openness, then energetically there's a sense of that. People sense there's an openness. They may not recognize it and say, yes, there is, but that what I'm implying is that at this time, there is more of an openness, more of a resonance going on than there ever was before. That's why this message, which is only very young and very unique, has arisen now, because it's arisen because there is an openness to hear it, or at least to be open to it. So that's what's happening at this time.
Thanks for illuminating my questions and these points.
Okay, I've got Charlene. Here,
Charlene.
Charlene is coming in.
Hello, this is
Hello.
Charlene.
Charlene.
The essay Unknowable Wonder on your website keeps me busy. In one of the last passages, I read, "The unique and radical communication has appeared very recently." However, it could have happened thousands or hundreds of years before. Why the radical communication has appeared only very recently?
Okay, so I've just explained that in some way or other this is to do with energy. It's nobody's message, but in some way or other, energetically, in this apparent world we live in, it seems that there's much more openness, resonance with the unknowable in people. So energetically, there's a sense that that's there. It's not the and in some way or other, that then gives in some way or other a space or a sense of the possibility of this communication being made now, not before, now, at this apparent time, or in this apparent energy that's very open and much more resonant. Then what comes in that energy of openness is a sudden communication like this, which is absolutely unique, and as far as I'm concerned, has never been communicated before this time. I don't know of any communication previously to this, which gives absolutely nothing to the individual, and also describes existence as being absolutely without meaning or purpose. And yet also, in some way or other, expresses or illuminates the whole nature of this, which is in unconditional love. I don't know of a message. If anybody does, please let me know. But the proviso is that it doesn't have any form of teaching or advice, because it doesn't recognize that there's anyone to advise or teach. That's really the nub of it. So this is a unique message, which is, as far as I'm concerned, has never been broadcast previously, because the energy has not been open enough for it to happen. Or apparently happen.
And so as I understand, the unique and radical communication is carried to us from nothing. So why does nothing let us know about nothing? Okay,
so it doesn't. There is only nothing, but out of nothing comes everything. And part of that everything is a communication like this. It's not nothing decide, oh, I'm nothing, and you're now going to write a communication like this because I would like to help. This is unbelievably this is nonsense. Nothing includes everything, including that which is seeking, and including that which is open, and including that which communicates in this way, and including that which communicates in a dualistic way, and there are plenty of those around. So everything is coming out of nothing, but it isn't. There is no intention in nothing, because nothing is nothing, so it can't have an intention.
Okay. Thank you.
I have Tammy.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, it's Tammy from Japan.
Hello.
It's almost 7 o'clock in the evening in Japan. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
It's very first time to talking to you.
Right.
And the paintings on the wall are beautiful.
Yes.
And are they exist?
Are they?
Exist? I mean, is it real?
There is nothing that is real. Everything is an
No?
appearance. So the paintings are an appearance. And the one just behind my head is by a friend called Peter Rush, who paints beautiful land and very dramatic landscapes. And he's also been to my meetings.
I couldn't understand whole message you said right now. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I don't.
No?
Oh, so the painting behind my head.
Yes, yes.
Oh, do they exist? No, nothing is real. The
Nothing
painting,
is real, yes.
the
Yes.
painting in the wall behind it is simply an appearance of no thing.
Okay, okay. So I would like to ask you that when I watch on TV, I sometimes feel how handsome guy he is on TV. But he is not real, right?
No, absolutely.
No?
No, nothing. Well, are you listening? There is nothing that is real, nothing at all.
Uh-huh.
Everything that appears is an appearance. It's an appearance of no thing. It's not no thing appearing as what seems to be there. What are you looking at the moment, apart from me?
You.
Oh, well, I
I'm
am
looking at you.
I am no thing appearing as a very good-looking, highly intelligent Tony Parsons. No, I'm joking. This is an appearance. There is only appearance.
Appearance.
It's not
Okay,
real.
and
It's not real.
excuse
it's not
me?
Real. It's
No
energy.
real. Energy. So if you are said you are handsome, how do you think? Because if I am said your beautiful appearance, I'm very happy because my body, I think my body is mine and my body is me.
Oh, I don't. I don't. There's no
So
one here. It's a joke anyway.
okay. So it's not, everything is not real and they are not any purpose for appearing.
No.
No?
No purpose or meaning. Yeah, none at all.
Oh, okay. It makes me confusing a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine. And that's also what is. Being confused is an appearance without purpose or meaning. Oh.
So they are not any happiness.
Happiness?
No?
What's happiness?
Happiness.
Well, happiness is another appearance.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm not going to try and pronounce the name. Kalowan. Coming in. Here we go.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you, Tony. Thank you for doing that and to.
I'm not doing it, but anyway, it's what's happening.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to ask you. Sometimes you say that there's nothing that needs to happen because this is already complete. This is already aliveness, and nothing needs to change. But you sometimes also say that until there is a feeling of contraction, there is dissatisfaction and there is seeking.
That's what apparently happens, yes.
Yeah, and I feel very confused because in one way nothing needs to happen, and in the same time I feel contracted.
Right, so all the time there is a sense of being separate, and there is a sense that everything is not complete, that something needs to change to become better or whatever. All the time there is a sense of being separate in dualism. There is a sense that something needs to change. It is not complete. When that illusion falls away, there is nothing any longer that questions what is. There simply is what is. And it's absolutely obvious that everything that is complete. But that is unknowable, and therefore it can't be, I can't tell you why everything is complete, because it's unknowable. So if it's unknowable, it can't be described. But all the time you are in a sense of separation, then nothing is complete and something wants to get better or change. That's what's the nature of seeking is. And that seeking is also oneness appearing as a seeking which thinks things should change or get better.
Yes,
That whole idea that things need to be better or change is utterly, wonderfully futile.
yes, I get that, and I understand that everything is apparent, and the sense of contraction is also apparent, but it's still here. It's
Yeah,
very
okay,
strange for me.
that's what's happening. So that's what's happening.
And
What's happening is confusion.
yes, confusion, because I realize that I can't do anything about it. Just
No.
have to wait, because I will not feel fulfillment and in loveness with being until this sense of
No.
contraction disappears.
Sorry, you never will feel that, because you are there trying to feel that or seek that. You never will. The whole idea that you will become fulfilled one day is utterly futile.
Yeah, I don't
You,
want to
the
become.
self
Yeah,
is confusion.
yes,
It's just,
I don't want to become fulfilled,
oh,
but I just want miss fulfillment and in loveness. I don't care about me if I am here and not here, and contraction. Just this sense of contraction doesn't leave me alone.
no, it never will.
And I understand the concepts. You sometimes say no amount of clarity or understanding can destroy this sense of contraction.
Hmm.
And it's like I have the understanding and I have the clarity, but it just continues to, this sense of contraction continues to be present.
I know, because you have something. You are the owner. You are a rich man who has clarity and understanding. So you are an individual still in the dream that has clarity and understanding. And that keeps you locked in to separation. This is not about understanding anything. As I said in my opening talk, this is absolutely about something energetic. And in some way or other, an openness seems to arise energetically, and your confusion and your understanding and your clarity fall down a hole and are lost forever. And all that's left is no thing and everything. And then there's no need for clarity and understanding. It just is what is, the absolute innocence and wonder of unknowing.
You leave me speechless.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Tricia?
Good morning, Tony, from Ireland.
Tricia from Ireland. Tricia.
Yes. Tony, when I'm in apparent physical pain, is that because the need for something different is more intense than when there is no physical pain?
It can be. It can be.
Right. And what else would you say about that, about physical pain or this apparent physical pain?
Well, there are two aspects, obviously, or experience. Well, there are two happenings with physical pain. One is in the dream, when if there is physical pain, then the individual takes ownership of that physical pain and says, this is my pain. it's happening to me, and so on. When there is no one, there is just pain. It's not owned. It simply is pain.
Okay. And was there something else? Was there a second thing you were going to say? I thought you said two aspects.
Well, no, there's one
Oh.
aspect, I own the pain, it is my pain, and the other one is there's just pain. But it's
Oh,
not,
right.
there's nothing there. There's nothing there that sees there is pain at all. There is just pain.
But yet, I know that I get that bit. But it's like pain is just a word. So in terms of contracted energy, what is pain?
Pain is something that seems to arise in boundless energy or in contracted energy. All the time there's a sense of a me there who lives in that contracted energy, and there's a sense of ownership.
So there's no explanation really for what pain, this word pain is. It's just...
No, there doesn't need to be really. It just hurts a lot.
It just... Thank you. It hurts a lot, yeah. And when that happens, it's like, okay, well, just there's no point. It's futile, pointless trying to understand what the hurt is.
It's futile trying to understand anything, but it does seem to happen. People want to understand.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Tony.
Do that kind. He's there sitting.
I think if there's three Ninas, but I think this is the one. We'll soon find out, right, Nina? It's your question.
Hello, Tony. Hello.
Hello, Nina.
No. Yeah.
Is the Nina that I know?
I don't know whether you know me.
From France.
No, I'm from Germany.
Okay.
I'm from Germany. I only phoned you once.
Okay.
So I think you don't know me. Somebody told something about your recent essay, The Unknowable Wonder, and I found that very interesting. I also have a question on this. In the end of your essay, you wrote that the unique and radical communication, which appeared very recently, is unknowable. What does that mean?
Well, it can't be known. It can't be described to anyone who would then have a picture of what it is. It's unknowable means it's not transferable. It's not describable. Unknowing is the mystery of everything. Everything is unknowable. There isn't anything that knows it.
So how do you sense it, or how do you...
Well, you don't sense it, but there can be a sense of whatever it seems to be happening, but there then wouldn't be a mind or brain that would then say, I know what this is and I can describe it.
So it just comes, or it just comes to you, or how?
Well, it comes.
And then you express it, or you...
Well, I don't know. There is no one here. There's no one here that's doing this. This isn't from any sort of choice or intention what's happening here right now. It just comes out of no thing. When anybody asks a question, no thing responds, not me. There isn't a library of knowledge here that looks into the library and finds an answer, as I see some people do. This is coming out of unknowing.
And that's what you mean by unknowing. So you don't even know what you will talk about.
I have no idea. No.
Okay.
When I was younger, when I first started talking, after a few weeks, somebody asked me a question in a meeting. And as they asked this rather complicated message, my brain, my mind says, oh, I don't know the answer to this. But as they got to the end of the question, suddenly this spoke. It just spoke. And it came from nothing.
And that's ever since like this for you. So you never know what you will speak, and you just, comes to you and you speak it out and you...
No, we're talking about understanding and conferring in this way.
Yeah.
So answers and questions. I don't know the answer to anything. I don't know anything. But in some way or other, in these conversations, what comes out of this body is coming out of no thing. And actually, you even talking about this and asking questions is also no thing in the form of someone who wants to ask a question.
Oh, that's
There's only
unbelievable. Yeah. And furthermore, you wrote that this communication illuminates the essence of unconditional love. What is the essence of unconditional
Well,
love?
again, that's not, I can't communicate that in words that would be understood. All I can really offer is some sort of comparison. So for the individual who lives in a separate dualistic world, then directly they become separate, they have need. So at a very early age, they become separate, they have need and grow up in need. They need guidance, they need comfort, they need a good experience, and they also think that they need love. But love is not love if it needs something. The only love there is totally unconditional and has no need of any kind. And it is all embracing. Love, unconditional love is terror, is fear, is ugliness, is beauty, what we would call beauty. It's everything that is out of no thing, and I can also say it's out of unconditional love. That's as near as I can get to describing it. The only thing I would say is that when I was younger and I was a seeker and I walked across a park, then I was no more, and there just was oneness. And in the park there were these trees, and I can feel it now. In those trees, the trees I saw waving were unconditional love, tree waving, if you like. And that was stunning, but not possible to describe.
So
that is in everything, windows, carpets. Unconditional love is all there is.
So it's a complete different from the love that me knows.
Yeah, the love that me wants is really not love, it's need love.
Yeah.
I need to love you, you need to love me. There are conditions.
Thank you very much, Tony. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, Harvey.
You people are always there. Doesn't matter, I just do.
Good morning, Tony.
Morning. Who is this?
My name is Harvey. I'm in the United States,
Harvey.
in the state of Maryland, near Washington, D.C. Yeah.
So your name is Harvey.
Right. So I want to, I understand about the futility of seeking that you mentioned. I guess my question is, how does the seeking come to an end in the dream of separation? Or how does the illusion fall away like it did within the character of Tony?
Well, it only apparently fell away because it was never real anyway. Don't forget that Tony Parsons lived in the illusion of being a real person. So the sense of being separate also felt real, and everything that came out of that seeking to try and resolve that also felt real. And then suddenly the whole sense of anything being real seemed not to be there anymore. I can't say it fell away because it makes it sound like it was something out there that was there and then didn't and fell into a hole or something. It simply was that there was no longer any sense of anything being real. And then suddenly everything was simply an appearance. And then there was no need, there was no impetus to seek anything because already when everything was an appearance, it was complete. It was utterly complete by being nothing appearing as something. So there was a completion. That was the end of it. That was the end of the idea that it needed changing or correcting, or I did. That was the end of seeking.
So, and I'm sure over the years, people have asked you, what do I need to do to end that seeking?
Oh no, there's no way. No, there's no way to go,
Right.
except you could, unless I could find a place called absence, but it can't. The only thing, other thing I have to say is, when this happened, when the real fell away and there was simply the appearance, it was realized, it was recognized by no one that there never was anything that was real. There never was a Tony Parsons. There never was separation. Everything is simply an appearance, including the sense that everything is separate and dualistic.
Yeah, thank you. And I hope you'll continue the Zoom sessions even after the pandemic comes to an end.
Oh,
this is a great medium.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I get to you. Okay. Joanne.
Hi, Joanne.
Hello?
Hello, Joanne.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I wanted to ask also a question. In your new essay on your website, Unknowable Wonder, is written that the concept of self is illusory. There's nothing of any use or value for seeking energy, and that the idea that existence has any meaning or purpose is wrong. Does this mean that the entire history of mankind, with all the apparent efforts from billions of me searching and trying to change anything, has only been an illusion, is absolutely futile?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And
Totally. Yeah, but don't forget, because it's born in dualism and seeks oneness through dualistic means. So it must be constantly confused and living in futility. Yeah, of course. So all those churches and all those other and all those Buddhist monks and all those teachers are simply in the dream. Then it's not their fault. They're just in the dream of being in dualism.
is this all? Oh,
it doesn't matter anyway, because all of it is completely meaningless.
Is this all a play of existence that's...
Well, no, it's all, no, hold on. It's not the play of existence. Whatever you're looking at the moment outside in the garden is pure beingness. It doesn't need to, the tree I'm looking at outside doesn't need to go to church to find out it is one. So everything is one, except the unique human being who has a sophisticated enough brain to construct an artificial sense of self. Out of the sense of self arises a seeking for guidance, because the self feels lost, and out of the hunger for guidance arises the church, religion, all of those amazingly, wonderfully futile activities. So it's not very serious.
But so it's just, but for the billions of me on the planet, it's very frustrating.
Yeah, it is awful. I mean, it's very sad that, yeah. It's what it is. It's frustrating what it is. Frustration is oneness in the form of frustration. It's what's happening. It has no meaning or purpose. So who cares? So what? Except for the person who is frustrated. Yes, it's very difficult. Yeah.
And have I understand correctly that all religions, spiritual ideas like enlightenment, transformation, following a path, everything are only inventions of human minds and
Absolutely.
totally wrong concepts?
Yeah, man. Yeah, you got it. You can go home now. No, absolutely. Isn't that appalling? What a terrible suggestion. Don't forget, don't worry about it, because most people in this world, in our seeking world, would read the essay that I've got up on the homepage, and they would very quickly dismiss it as being too radical, too uncompromising, or being just a mystical dream thing. They want to dismiss it because this self is absolutely determined to survive. So if it reads anything that might threaten its survival, it will dismiss it or ignore it. So don't worry. This message is not going to be heard by thousands of people all over the world, and thousands of priests who will knock down all their churches. Don't worry.
So billions of people will go on,
of course,
following their own concepts and ideas.
Of course they will. My little YouTube thing might get a few thousand people watching it for a little while, but the priests and the gurus, all the gurus out there, see what they get. They get 10 times more interest in their YouTubes than ever I will in mine, because that's the nature of the beast.
Nature of the beast.
Mm.
That the people are following their longings and not listen to your message.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Richard.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yeah. I wanted
Is that Richard London?
It's Richard Osband. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Richard.
Meetings, yeah. Hi there. Yes, I wanted to ask about pandemic, survival of the me, and survival in nature. Because
hold on.
Is that too much?
The survival of me in nature. I don't quite
understand. The survival of me that you've spoken about.
The self. Yeah.
Self, yeah. But there's also instinct, which you see in animals as well.
Yeah.
Food, the need to procreate,
absolutely,
the need to form groups, the need to survive. So the survival instinct. We are just sophisticated animals. We are sophisticated animals. Yeah. So so your religion and everything else is just all part of the survival instinct as we form.
Yeah. Well, yes, it's a survival and also an instinct or a need to find guidance or satisfaction.
Yeah. So, but okay, let's get rid of these social things, which a lot of the me is about. At this time of pandemic, I certainly feel a fear of loss, a fear of my business going to hell, a fear for going, when I go shopping, I might catch this damn thing and be killed by it. And so I think it's a time now when we all have an accentuated awareness, or there is an accentuated awareness of what survival, and there can be watching as we get hungry, we look to see if we got enough food in the fridge. And
there's also a recognition that we're not in control. But anyway, yeah.
No, but we're not in control. But we're not in control, but we do what we do out of a need to survive.
Well, yeah, but we presume that what we do is our choice, whereas actually it's simply contracted energy responding in a certain way.
In a pre-programmed way, which is about survival. It's not totally random, is what I'm saying. I'm hearing you say it's totally random and so on and so forth. You have not said that on occasion. I'm saying it's not totally random. It's dictated by survival needs that's programmed into the.
Yeah, but it's not actually pre-programmed. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's what happens. Yeah.
Well,
survival happens.
Well, what's happening responds to the need to survive. Yeah.
It's a response to survive. Yeah.
It's
an animal response to survive.
It's an animal response to survive. Fine. That's clear that we agree on. That's all I wanted to clarify. Really, it's an animal response to survive. Okay.
Meredith.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hi there. So I have a question I want to ask about energy. And the kind of energy I want to ask about is about this experience of what you could call a malevolent energy that sometimes one experiences coming at one. And that's different than just the life force energy. And I wonder, how does one work with malevolent energies, for lack of a better term?
Okay, so there is no one. The individual is simply an appearance, and the appearance of the individual has no free will or choice. So there is no possibility that the individual could find a way of dealing with an energy. No individual deals with energy, but they believe in their dream that they have free will and choice, and in some way or other they convince themselves that they are choosing to deal with energy of any kind or anything that's happening. In fact, actually, that's simply an appearance, and the idea that they are choosing to deal with an energy in a particular way is a complete illusion. All there is what's happening, including the idea or the belief that I can deal with energy.
Okay, so let's just set aside even the idea to deal with it. How does one, or it's hard to say, if what is happening is malevolent energy in one's field, say directed by a malevolent person who has strong energies themselves, what do you do? I mean, I know that's a foolish question just when I say it, but I don't know how to.
It's not foolish. What happens is that you think that you can do something about that circumstance, and apparently an action is taken to deal with that circumstance, and you believe that you are taking that action. Actually, it's simply energy in that form. It's not you that's taking any decision. It is simply energy in that form, which appears to take a decision about dealing with malevolence. That's all. That's all the difference.
Okay, so but if there is energy in this form, it's apparently, and it impacts one's daily life,
then there would be a response, but it wouldn't be from you. It would be from contracted energy, but you would believe that it is your response and you're taking action. That's the dilemma. That's the illusion. It's the same as it's the same as you sitting there thinking that you're asking this question. Actually, it's just what's happening.
Okay, so let me see if I can just reframe it a little bit. If in the apparent expression of life force that is encapsulated in this form, malevolent energy is detected, is that just what's happening and it will always be that way and that's just what is?
It's just what's happening.
How does one think about it so that it can be neutralized?
Sorry?
How does one think about it or be with it that it becomes neutral? Because even the idea of me, you can neutralize even the idea of me.
Oh, can you? Golly. I'd like to hear how. How do you do that?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But I feel maybe it's just the contracted one's own contraction is contending with what is apparently malevolent. Is that?
You don't have a
Can you say it like that?
You don't have a contraction. There just is contraction. And the response to whatever happens comes out of no thing. Everything is no thing appearing, and the response would be out of no thing. There is no me. There is no real self that has any that takes any action at all. It's just another dream, just another appearance.
So, okay, so essentially, malevolent energy is not real any more than me is real.
Yeah, man, no, it's an appearance.
Yeah. Okay, now I got you. Now
I mean,
I got you.
even yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Even Trump is only an appearance.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's another amen. Okay. Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, best.
Okay, Martina.
Hi, Tony. Hi, Clara. Hello. Thank you for the opportunity to listen to you and for this Zoom meeting. I'm very happy about it. And what I understood from your new essay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
A part of the brain created in me with its own life, which is an illusion, a dream. Is life itself, beingness, senseless, and has no meaning or purpose too?
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's how it is. That's how it apparently is.
Okay.
She's gone.
Could you elaborate more on unconditional love and why this topic is communicated by the radical communication?
I've already tried to describe unconditional love. It can't be described because it is unknowable. I can only compare it, as I did, with the need love of the apparent individual, which seems to arise, and unconditional love has no need and no conditions. So it is a total, all-embracing love, which includes everything that we would think of as unloving, terrible, and ugly, or whatever, and cruel. It is that. Unconditional love is also that, which is beyond comprehension.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay. Jenny, you're up.
Hi, Tony.
Hi, Jenny.
How are you?
Okay, yeah.
Good.
How are you? How are you?
I'm awesome, thank you. Yeah, I wanted to say thank you first to Claire and yourself for the 10 a.m. or 10:30 meeting, because it means that I can attend. So yay, I don't have to get up at 2 a.m. in the morning. So thank you for that. And that fellow that said before for the Zoom meetings to continue, that would be amazing. Even when this is all over. Absolutely, I second that. So I just wanted to say, really, you know, I just listening to other people talking and asking questions, and myself included, it's clear that the me is absolutely trying to understand and know and think. Yes. And think that, oh, the more I get this, I can have it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just what the me does.
The more I know, the more powerful I will be.
Yeah. But it's got nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with the me.
No.
It's completely beyond that. Nothing to do with understanding.
No.
Yeah. That's just been going over and over and over in my head, that it's got nothing to do with me.
No, nothing at all. No. You are, the me is the one that is constantly trying to work it all out or try to know it.
Yeah. It's just,
There is no
Nothing.
meaning for it to have anything to do with anyway.
It's got nothing to do with anyone. It's got nothing to do with
There isn't
any of
anyone.
us.
There isn't anyone.
It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But anyway, yeah. And I just one other thing I just wanted to comment on as well. You said before that you know, your YouTube videos, they may only get, you know, however many thousand people have a look at it or whatever. And, you know, there's billions of people out there, supposedly. But I was just thinking, you know, maybe that's because there's only a few of us that are ready or maybe open.
In a way, it's a sense of that. It isn't anybody that's ready, but you're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what
So
I'm trying to say. There's more and more, there's an openness.
yeah. So maybe would it be fair to say that the reason, or I know there's no reason, but I'm so drawn to this, and I think a lot of, you know, from what I can gather, other people that attend these sorts of meetings are as well. And maybe there is an openness to this more so than, you know, the person that would just think we're all crazy.
Yeah, but it's not your openness.
No.
It's
An
just
apparent. Yeah, it's just openness. Yeah. Anyway, that's all.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Florin.
Hello, Tony.
Hello.
I want to ask you if thoughts can influence in any way how body acts.
Well, in a sense, there is an energy in the body, and a thought about something being wrong, for instance, with the body, could have an effect on the body, yes. But it isn't anybody that's doing that, it's just energy in that form.
So I can take serious my thoughts. I mean, in not doing something.
No, they aren't your thoughts. They are just thoughts.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not saying they're your thoughts.
Yeah, just thoughts. Can I take them to act in a way or in another way, or to do or not to do something?
That's an illusion, because you have no free will and choice. There is no you, but thoughts arise, and then you might think they are your thoughts, and you might be able to do something with them. There are people who teach people to change their thoughts, but that's all part of a dream, that there is someone who has the free will and choice to do that. That's an illusion. Thoughts are just another thing that happen.
And they happened after the action or before the action of the body?
After
the thoughts appears after the body action, or
no, it can be before or after. There's no particular time. Thoughts arise, and all the time there is someone, they think they are their thoughts. And when there is no one, the thoughts, like everything else, are just thoughts.
And you say that there is only what appears, but when there is nobody in the body, who can make, or what makes the difference between appearances? I mean,
nothing. Nothing. The appearance is simply, nothing makes any difference. It's what appears is simply no thing appearing.
Yes, but something knows that, or not knows, but make a difference between a tree and a chair or a wall, or...
Nothing makes any difference between a tree. The tree is nothing just as much as the chair is nothing. They are both no thing appearing in that form. And they have no...
This appearance as a table or a chair or a tree, it's just an appearance, but they are different.
They appear to be different,
yeah.
But there's no significance in that, and there's no meaning or purpose.
And after the body dies, it looks like, I mean, there is also this appearance. I mean, there is trees, chairs, tables, walls after the body dies, because
Yeah.
it seems to that the body has some perceptions.
No, the individual.
But
So
after the body dies, the perception is no longer there.
Well, there is no perception. It's only the individual who lives in the dream of being a me that think they have a perception. This is my perception. When there is no longer the illusion of there being anyone, perception is simply a mechanical thing that happens. Something is perceived, but there is no one who perceives.
And this is happened. And this is happened after the body dies.
Of course. There isn't an after the body dies. The body is just bones and flesh, and they rot away. What at the death, when the brain ceases to function, it can be the end of the illusion of being separate, because the sense of being separate is generated from the brain. When the brain ceases to function, then the whole illusion of separation ceases to function with it.
But the appearance still appear. The appearance, I
mean. In one way it appears, in another way, I'm sorry to say this, but actually the tree and the chair are simply nothing appearing, and they're not really happening. There is nothing that's really happening at all.
So it's like a black hole, or?
No, it's not happening. This is something deeply mysterious which it's not possible for it to be there all the time. There is someone there. But when there's no one, I get phone calls from a lot of people who have died, who are absent, which is happening more and more now, confirming that they absolutely hear what I say when I say there's nothing happening.
So nothing happening after the body dies.
Well,
not any appearance.
Sorry, it's nothing to do with the body dying or not. There is nothing happening, right? This is nothing happening.
And still
which is unknowable and incomprehensible and completely doesn't make sense.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay, I've got a wild card here.
Wild card. Hello,
yeah,
wild.
That's the name.
Back to poker now.
Yeah. I'm unmuting. There we go.
Thanks for unmuting me. Thank you. Feel blessed. My question is, with the contrast of what's happening in the world, I find that I swing back and forth with, I hear this message, it sounds great, it's comfortable, I feel comfortable in my little prison, but then I swing back to, I do got to be a better person, I got to be goal-oriented because there's war, climate change, politics, you mentioned Donald Trump. What is that? What is that swing back and forth?
My sense is you're not swinging back and forth. You're in the world of the self. And in some way or other, what you describe as the second part of the self is a more obvious activity in the self. I have to get a better job and be a better person. But even strange enough, your sense of what you were describing as your first experience, for me, is still as part of the self.
Okay. And connected to that, if there is no one, no self, then why is there this sense of a self and a more apparent self? If there actually isn't anyone.
Because your experience of the self is that it's real. That's the great illusion. The great illusion that the self has when it is, I am real and my story is real and you are real and everything is real. Trees are real, everything is real. Whereas actually everything is simply an appearance of no thing. That's the great illusion.
The appearance of no thing.
Well, no, the great illusion is I am real. Everything is real. That's the great illusion.
Right, and with no separation, I've asked this before, is there no distance? So like...
all the time there is an individual, there is a sense of distance. The individual lives in dualism, lives in separation, is separation. And it feels real.
Isn't that amazing?
Well, I'll hang my hat on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have Shalu.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Tony. Can you hear me? Yeah. So I wanted to ask about this, the realization that we have of being no one. Does it have, of being nothing?
We don't have a realization that there's no one because you'd still be there realizing it.
Okay. Yeah, got that. So the conditioning of thoughts and experiences, I'd read somewhere in one of your books or one of your writings that there's a cycle between thoughts and experiences. I know you've talked about it even in this session, but I just wanted you to say a little bit more about, does it have anything at all to do with the conditioning of the mind?
I'm not sure where you're coming from. There is a mind or a conditioning that happens in the subconscious mind of the self, and that has an influence, quite an influence on their lives because they follow that conditioning. But that conditioning is also no thing appearing as conditioned.
Okay, so in the apparent world, would you say that the cycle of an experience can be after the thought, like a chicken and an egg?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, or before. Okay. Yeah, there's no order.
Okay, great. The second question is that considering what we are, okay, what we are not, is that okay, where words come from, okay, if where words come from.
Oh, words. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so where words come from, in that state of being, is there is a deep sense of contentment, of happiness?
No.
Of just being the way. Sorry?
No.
No.
There's no sense of contentment or happiness, no.
There is no sense of contentment.
No happiness.
Okay.
No. Those are things
just what it is.
in the dream. But in the dream, contentment happens for a little while, and then happiness happens for a little while, and all sorts of other things also happen for a little while. When there's no one, there's nothing.
Okay. Yeah.
There's nothing that knows nothing. There's nothing that feels anything. It just is, what seems to happen.
Okay. That answers everything. Thank you.
Okay, I have Elena.
Lena too.
Elena.
Oh, Helen.
Hello, Tony.
Hello.
Oh, God.
Yes, you called?
Yes, I have a question in a way. Since I met you recently, actually, every time I listen, I have the impression it's a meeting with the beloved one. And in the same time, I noticed a lot of resistance practically before this meeting. My body felt really sick.
Feels sick. Did you say sick? No.
It's a contracting
a
energy.
Fear. A fear can arise.
A fear, yeah. And I had so many experience these years that I thought I'm liberated so many times, but of course it was just an experience in I don't know. Actually, the question is about resistance. I think that the resistance I still feel, the me still feel separated, and actually, in this very moment, it's a very strange feeling.
Yeah, what's it like?
Oh, it's amazing. It's like everything, everything gone.
Oh, right.
Something.
Is there fear?
No, it's not fear at all.
Oh.
I appreciate. I just wanted to thank you, I guess.
No, it's okay. It's this. It's this. It's not somewhere else. It's this. What is? It's already. Already, it's this. It's very simple and very ordinary. It's like
I thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dan and Alisa.
Hi, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, it's Dan.
Dan.
Hi. Yeah. I think my question might have gone off a bit now because I asked it about an hour ago. But I was listening to you talking earlier about this message is becoming sort of like more heard by people. It's becoming more.
No.
Ah, okay. So I misheard that because it's
I'm not suggesting people are hearing this message because people, the self, doesn't hear this message. That's because it rejects it immediately. It has to, because it has to survive. But in some way or other, there's energetically there's an openness, but it isn't for anyone. It's just an openness.
Yeah. So there's an openness, but I think you said a sort of greater openness, like more recently or something.
Yeah, there's more. There seems my senses, in some way or other, energetically, resonance becomes more apparent.
Yeah, because so that feels right as well, but at the same time, it sounds a little bit like there's a timeline to it as well.
No, there's no time. No, there is no time. Nothing. I did say just now, nothing is happening. Within nothing, there appears to be a resonance.
So would you say that the resonance is in the story?
Sorry?
Is the resonance in the story?
No, not at all. No, the story is is something that's manufactured by the self. There is no story. There's nothing that's real. Everything is an appearance. In that appearance of wholeness, there seems to be resonance. It's energetic.
So the resonance is outside, is sort of resonating with itself.
Oh no, it doesn't have to. No, it doesn't have to do anything. It simply is resonant. It simply is openness.
Yeah.
It simply is emptiness.
Yeah. Yeah. I get
going anywhere.
That.
It has no purpose. It's not going anywhere or coming from anywhere.
So I suppose my question came out of earlier hearing a greater sort of openness to this message. That there seemed to be a bit of sort of, I don't know, like sort of relative sort of feeling about that.
Okay, that's your take on it.
That's my take.
That's what's happening there. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I heard it. So what is that?
Well, that's how you heard it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
So could you say restate what you said about that?
No, I can't. I can never say anything I've said before because I wasn't there at the time.
Yeah.
This is impossible to communicate as far as the self is, because the self turns everything into a thing. So don't you hear it's about resonance? It's suddenly a sort of bubble flying around in the world. And when Tony Parsons says there seems to be resonance, seems to be more available, then it's somehow this bubble of resonance gets bigger and becomes more and meets more people. It's impossible. It's impossible.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Tony. Great to see you.
Okay.
Thanks.
I have Esther. Esther. Yeah.
Yes.
Here you go.
Hi, Tony.
Hiya.
Nice. Thank you for putting on the online satsang again. I'm grateful for that. I have a question. There is at this moment there is in my body, and I have also emotions. There is a lot of energy running around, and I can't totally hear your message, but there is so much energy field, and there is a person that is afraid, and I know that's the me, and I don't know. So it's contracted again.
It's okay to be afraid. That's what's happening. When that feeling of being something means nothing, that's frightening.
Yeah, is it also all inclusive that everything is arising in because I'm familiar with the feeling of nothing. There is something I can see, or I can feel, but I don't know how you see. But it's not I, but there is a sense. But is it possible that this is also happen in the space of in nothing? Well, that's new fear and
fear. No, fear is nothing in the form of fear. Of course, there is only nothing, and whatever you're looking at or feeling is no thing in that form. Of course, even seeking, feeling separate, going to a teacher, being a teacher is all nothing in that form. It's all the whole. There is only the whole. There isn't anything separate.
No, I thank you so much. I can.
Okay.
There is still a sense of that.
That's what's happening. That's the beloved. There aren't any enemies. That's simply the beloved.
Thank you. Thank you for arising again.
I have John. Hopefully, here you go, John.
Hi, John.
Hello, Tony. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yeah.
I was busy also, like I've heard often, with your new essay, Unknown Wonder, and I had some questions. It mentions that the human life is moving into a new epoch.
Only apparently.
Apparently. And at the same time, a unique and radical communication has arrived. And I've heard you talking about some of this, that you sense that there's a change, there's an openness, is changing energetically.
It's not a change, it's just the contracted energy is somehow opening to more to the open. But it's only apparent.
Okay. And are there other things going on? I mean, I heard this also today in the talk. There were some kind of a sense of growing frustration and things like this.
Oh no, that's normal.
Okay.
In the world of me, frustration is growing and growing. Don't forget, there's a balance with everything. As people who believe in knowing and understanding and having power become more and more frustrated because they're not getting what they want, then that energy of contraction and knowing is naturally balanced by an openness, because the whole world is utterly, or the whole appearance is completely neutral, because it is no thing. So there isn't more wanting to know and less unknowing. They balance each other, and that's why it seems apparent at the moment with the world, with what's happening, that the openness seems to be more apparent than it was before. It was when it wasn't apparent.
Okay.
It's a balance. It's a balance. It's always a balance. There's a huge frustration in the world at the moment.
Yeah, I feel that.
Also,
I mean,
also what's interesting is that there's a huge recognition in the world that we, the me, the self, is not in control.
oh man, it takes my breath away.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I get a sense in the essay, you also talk about the idea of seeking as futile, and after years of going to groups and researching and looking and finding that nothing works, I kind of get a sense for this. And yet at the same time, what feels completely devastating is this idea of the self being illusory.
Yeah.
An illusion. I mean,
it's devastating.
Yeah, doesn't that mean the death of the me?
Well, there is no me to die. What for me, the experience was, I thought there was a me, and then when it went away, there was a recognition that it never was real anyway. It was never there. So there is no me to die. Me is not evil. Me is an energetic sense of separation. That's all it is. And it's not bad or good. It's just what it is. It's the beloved in the form of a sense of separation.
Okay. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Tony, I probably am looking, I might have missed a few, but I've at least another 6 people on the list, and I probably even have some that I've missed. It's 12 o'clock. I'm happy to go on if you're happy to go on for a few minutes, or if you want to wrap it up, that's up to you.
Go on for a little while longer, Frank. And thank you very much for doing so wonderfully well with what you do.
Pleasure. Okay, so we'll just keep going, and then you can wrap it up. Okay. Lee, Teresa, coming in hot.
Hi, Tony. It's Lee.
Hi, Lee.
Hi. If the story is manufactured by the self and nothing creates the appearance, then surely nothing has a creative essence.
No, me doesn't create anything. It's simply energy. It is no thing in the form of a creation that seems to happen. It isn't no thing that creates. It is there is no thing, and then it takes form, and out of that form, things seem to happen.
Well, if something takes form, then there's an act of creation in the taking of form.
Only an apparent act. It's an apparent act of creation, if you want to call it an act of creation. Yeah.
Okay, an apparent act of creation, and then the self manufactures the story.
No, the self doesn't manufacture the story. The apparent story is simply energy in that form. The self is simply a name for an idea that we have, that we are someone who is separate. But energetically, everything comes out of nothing.
Okay, thank you, Tony, and thank you for extending time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Zoe.
Hi, Tony. How are you?
Good. I know that voice.
Yeah, this is Zoe from Australia.
Oh, right. Okay.
Tony, my question is, what's the difference between an illusion and something appearing, something just appearing apparently? When you say it's something is an appearance, and when you say me is an illusion, what's the difference between the two? Isn't everything an illusion?
Well, I was trying to describe that the major illusion that the me lives under is that it's real when actually it's an appearance. But it depends what you mean by the word illusion, really. Everything is only an appearance.
So what I want to know is what's the difference between illusion and an appearance? Isn't it the same thing? To me, it's the same thing.
It could be. It depends what you mean by the word. I don't see illusion in quite the same way as I see appearance.
So for you, what's the difference between the two?
Sorry.
So for you, what's the difference between the two? So
the difference between the illusion and the appearance is that the illusion has some sort of message held by an apparent me, which the me presumes to be a truth.
Mm-hmm.
Appearance is simply no thing appearing to be something.
Okay. So the illusion is also an appearance, right? In a way.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you say that?
Yeah, I can do.
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. And just one last thing, really quick. I get a little confused when I don't get it when you say that, you know, the experience of nothing. I know it's the wrong word to use, but
No, I don't use that. There is no experience of nothing. There's no experience.
When you say
experience is essentially a me.
Yeah, yeah. I understand that, but I guess I don't have the right word to express it. But is it ordinary or is it spectacular? That's what I don't get, because sometimes it seems like
what is totally ordinary. It's not fantastic or different. It's just totally ordinary. Very simple, totally ordinary, and utterly magnificent. Because it's absolute, unconditional love, but there is no one that can know that.
Mm-hmm.
So the carpet, for me, the carpet is just a thing I use and walk on. And it's over there, and I'm walking on it. For the beloved, the carpet is a divine carpet. Indescribable, unknowable.
Right,
So we walk on an unknowable carpet.
Mm-hmm.
It's a joke.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Tony.
Thank you.
Okay, I have Ben and Yannick. I think
Ben.
it's Ben, yeah.
Hi, Tony.
Hi.
I'm ever so grateful that you know.
I'm not doing this, so.
Okay. Your message seems to me to be quite stark. I mean, I've been seeking for.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been seeking.
Stark.
Yes.
It's awful. No, truly, it's dangerous and awful.
Yeah.
For the seeker.
Yes. Because what you're seem to be saying is when have been seeking for something, there's actually nothing I can do to get what I seek. Is that right?
In one sense, that's a sort of, the seeker seeks something that it thinks it's lost. Nothing is lost, everything is whole. So it's completely futile, looking for something that isn't lost. But it hides from the seeker. What the seeker longs for hides from the seeker by already being everything.
And sorry, my mind just goes blank. And I just heard you say a few times today that there's no meaning and no purpose. So so I'm here, or that's what I believe at the moment, but there is no meaning and there is no purpose.
Well, believing it is when there is no one, it's absolutely obvious that there's no meaning or purpose. But all the time you're an individual, you can try and believe there's no meaning or purpose, but you're still holding on to a concept.
Okay. And just one last thing I wanted to ask was, I have a sense, through other teachers, I feel.
I'm not a teacher.
Oh, sorry.
I am not a teacher.
Thank you. Sorry. Thank you for correcting me. I can feel being, or I have during the day. I can feel it,
Well, that feels like a teacher.
Oh, okay, all right. But it is there like, because what the message I'm hearing, it seems to be like it's quite black and white. There's not like a progression. So
No.
it's not something I could feel.
No.
Right.
A teacher will tell you that, but you won't hear that. There's nothing. It is or it isn't. But actually, even if it isn't, it also is.
Okay, thank you so much, Tony. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tony.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Declan. Here you go. Here you
Hi
go,
there.
Declan. Yeah.
Sorry, my camera's got to adjust its brightness.
I can hear you.
You can hear me? Wonderful. So I'm gonna get into some a bit of personal stuff here. Even though I know that the person is illusory. So I was recently diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and I was wondering if you had any insight into that.
No, none at all. No.
Not at all?
It is what's happening.
Okay.
Apparently.
All right. Dad, I feel this frustration, which I've heard mentioned a couple of times. Just like I've been listening to your videos and watching them as well, and sort of reading some of your texts. I haven't read your book, but it feels like I'm just waiting for this me to die.
Yeah, so if you're waiting, you'll wait forever. Because there is no me to die.
There is no me.
People avoid this by waiting for it.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I have Kesavan. Here we go. I'm going to unmute. Doesn't seem to be working.
That guy's always there.
Hi, Tony.
Hiya.
Okay. You say that contracted energy comes from nothing.
Well, nothing is the source of everything.
Nothing is the source of everything. So why do you use the word nothing?
Well, I could use emptiness or marmalade. I don't mind. They're all utterly meaningless. It's the nearest you can get in words to that which can't be known or described.
Yes, nothingness.
And who cares?
Who cares? Thank you.
Thank you.
There may be others that I've missed, Tony, but I can't seem to.
Can we call it a day?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, hello. Ute from Germany. Hi, Tony. I have no question. I only want to. I hope I will you see in this leg.
Oh, yeah, okay. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. Stay, oh no, stay happy, stay healthy. Yeah? Also, Claire. Thank you. Nice to see you.
Thank you. Thank you. And you. And you. And I want to thank you, Frank, for doing all of this. You're wonderful.
Stop.
It's the coolest man.
Stop. Did you stop that? You don't stop that.
Oh. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you ever so much, Tony. Thank you, Tony.
Thanks, Tony.
Thanks. Thank you, Claire. Thank you, Frank.
Claire as well.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Tony.
Tony. Thank you.
Hey. Helsinki.
Donc on risque de jeter beaucoup de produits. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony.
Un récipient peu petit.